we doing?
How you doing?
I'm tired. I gotta be honest. I'm a little
You've
tired.
been very busy. I
Uh,
don't take that for granted, my friend.
yeah, but busy but happy.
Good for you, always are.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's
But
funny.
I honestly, I feel like I'm obligated to share with folks listening to us that, they, to whatever extent they feel like this all just happens easily. Dude, the demands on your time for your work, for your expertise have been shocking. Like in terms of you telling me, I assume you're available Friday night, 9 o'clock, still working, doing some stuff. Like, dude, like,
Yeah,
so thanks for making all this work because yeah.
it's been worse lately. Or I say worse. It's been more busy lately. And last week, if we had met last week, I wouldn't have been able to do it, Don, because Monday and Tuesday nights, both nights, I was up till 3 in the morning. We're on work calls, and it's brutal. Oh, just brutal. It's a living. It's a
Oh,
living. Yeah. So this is a nice break,
well,
actually. So
yeah, I
yeah,
would like to think it is, but still, you can't just decide you're going to do it and not do the other thing that you're being paid for.
yeah, I would have had to call off, but haven't had to do that yet. So I think
All right.
we got our issues figured out with IBM, and hopefully going smoother. Hey, come on in, Eden. Just make yourself comfortable, buddy.
All
Say hi.
right.
Lori's not home right now, so she does this during the day. If Lori's not home, she'll come in and hang out with me. She needs to be near a human, apparently.
So you might have to let her out and do the business and
Not right now. She's good
okay.
for now.
Yeah.
She just has to be where we are for some reason. Hey, so check this out. I showed you the ornaments that Tracy
Oh my
painted.
gosh. Yes.
I got my boxes back this week.
Oh.
So they're ready to go. So there's the other one that Tracy did. So there, I made them a married couple.
All
And
right. All right.
another
So
coin
you
box.
kind of spun
Oh,
around like there's one panel that has a long writing in the back here that was horizontal.
oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
That's the write up. It's
oh,
it's all about this is Snowfia.
okay.
But check this out. You open the box up and boom.
Oh, also trademarks. Look at that.
Yeah,
Norwegian flag, green. Oh my gosh. Of course you guys did
that's my tribute to Tracy in there
that. Woo.
because it is a collaboration. Anyway,
Yes. Wow.
I'm very excited to hand those out this year. They're
I cannot wait for
fantastic.
some time in the near future, as you have suggested that we talk to both of you, and it's
Yeah,
going to
that'd
be
be a good call.
a long, yeah, very
That,
good.
that's going to be a good call. Um, what else? What else is going on? I was going to tell you, Lori and I met friends about 2 hours south of here near Charlottesville, Virginia,
Okay.
at a ski resort for Oktoberfest. And I'm looking it up online, and it's supposed to be a pretty good vertical for an East Coast. So I was getting really excited. I shouldn't have gotten excited though, 'cause we got, it just I can't compete with the West
No.
with the Rockies. Oh,
Yeah. For anyone listening to this, like, go back to season one
with Punk.
and
Yeah.
listen to the conversation that you had with Punk, who's in Vermont and Lake Placid.
Yeah.
And that's not the only reason to listen to that call because
No, it's
the
gold.
whole
Yeah.
thing was great. Like, digging into his camp experience, but that's a good reason to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but the we got on the chairlift just so you could see the fall foliage. It was beautiful,
Yeah.
but the chairlift ride was about 30 seconds. It's just so small. And I got stung by a freaking bee. Like this
Autumn
sucks.
bees are angry because they're getting ready to hibernate. You're like, who do we got left
Yeah,
to just
yeah. He got me. He got me. It
where?
still itches right there, and
Okay.
still
Yep.
itches. Oh my gosh.
I got zapped in the temple this summer and like,
Ooh, okay. I'll
oh,
take
I
the
hope I'm
arm
okay,
over.
but like they got me in the brain. Like, what do I do? And it was fine.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Let me get the I did get from our guest upcoming, I got
Our guest, Andy Clancy. I cannot wait to
yeah, give me a like
you guys. I think there might be some connection, but if not, you'll find it real quick.
okay, but give me your take on like what should people expect here? Who is Andy Clancy?
Andy Clancy. So I was a young teenager, and I kind of got into staff like 82. I would have been 15, 16. So he was on staff. He was the youngest of two brothers. I think Keith will
Okay.
fill me in on that. Actually, it's interesting. Camp has a legacy of having brother chapters. The Calaguires, we had Jeff
Yeah.
on. The O'Burns, we had Bruce on. The Youngs,
Yeah.
Peter was youngest, but Keith actually had told me that he's looking to reconnect and would love to come on.
Oh, nice.
So Andy, yeah, he was he was kind of a quintessential staffer from Long Island, I believe, and then I think in recent years in his adult life, he's been living in Pennsylvania. But
We'll dig into
just
that.
he just he's a positive guy like you, Tom, and yeah, I reconnected with him not this past, yeah, actually, I did connect with him this past summer, but the year before, the first time we ever came back to camp. And there's so much there untapped. I'm kind of using that word a lot because for all of the guests that we've had, uh, that we're so proud of that we've connected with and spoken with, there's still a lot untapped, and we're about to
Yeah.
tap into what Andy brings. And yeah, you guys are gonna definitely make a quick connection, whether you know each other or not. And there might be a year. We'll get into that and
Well,
figure it out.
get into that. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a good conversation. Let me do
Yeah.
this. Let's do that's not what I want.
And then the
Oh, here it
call
is.
from last week, Karen.
Yeah, that was a great conversation. I
Yeah,
enjoyed that a lot.
it's funny. Like, how much do you want to share about our post um, interview? Because we are a totally different. All right, Karen. Listen, by now people have
They've
watched
watched it.
and listened to what
Yep.
you, for the first time, you brought something about Tapawingo to this
Yeah.
program. Uh, and she expressed some concern that, she might have been living too much in the moment or bringing back the moment of that. And we were like, no, that's exactly what we wanted. And
That is the
she
point.
outmatured both of us, like, or both of
Low
us, three
bar.
of us, right?
Yeah, low bar. Yeah. No, that was a great conversation. I'm
Yeah.
excited for people to see it because, well, it's just a totally different perspective. And the one thing that she said that stuck out to me. I've been reflecting on it because I feel the same way. She said she likes who she is,
Hmm.
and she feels like her camp experience was part of creating of who she is, and she likes who she is. I love that statement because I feel the same way. I think it's part of my story. and I like who I am or who God's made me to be. It's such a cool perspective, and I love that she mentioned it on there.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, that was great.
All right, let's do a little intro here. So, like we said, Karen Keller Simpson was on
There we
last
go.
week. With I guess I can share this now because by the time people see this, we had a cameo, special guest cameo from Mike Mazzano, which
Yeah,
was fun.
actually, our picture's covering up her name, but in my
Oh,
screen, maybe not when it comes out because you have the
no,
right.
yeah, you can move that one.
Okay, I don't know where it's gonna be when it shows.
Remember,
Yeah,
it'll be on the side over here, but so all right. And then Andy Clancy, we got some other folks lined up.
we do.
Should we do let's do this story time with Tom, I
All
mean
right.
Don. So
Whoa,
just a
big
little
curveball there.
intro here for you, but you're gonna be on the spot here to read in a second. Um I I I grabbed the book today and I said, what have we not really touched yet in this book? So I literally went to the index. I'm like, oh yeah, we talked about that chapter. We talked about that. I'm like, oh, I know what we haven't talked about, and that's what's coming up next. And I think you are going to do an update on the serial killer story from, I think it's chapters 14 and 15 in your next book.
Uh,
So
well,
maybe
hmm.
let's read this just to get you in the mood, and then you can
Wow.
spill the tea a little bit on what's coming up. What do you think?
Listen, I'll follow your lead, but um, as I was hearing you bringing that in, I have a good update about it, and so sure,
All right, let's do this. All right, have at it.
I got to read.
You got to read. It's in your voice
All
actually.
right. Do I have to read it in like a Vincent Price kind of?
If you can pull off Vincent Price, I would love to hear that. And then
Yeah.
do the evil Michael Jackson song laugh for
Oh, it's
Thriller.
funny because our grandson Brooks is totally into Halloween. He's been watching the Michael Jackson
Ooh.
Thriller video, so
Oh
he's
yeah.
been going into like Home Depot, Lowe's, Target. He's like, "I'm Michael Jackson," and trying to do moonwalks, and
I love
I
it.
guess that's what we're.
It's so good.
All right, man. I'll follow you here. So, okay, during the summer of 1973, much of New York State was terrorized by a cold-blooded killer. Camp in the Woods in the Village of Speculator just centered stage for the Adirondack act of this drama. Hold on. There we go. My picture is covering
Yeah.
up the end of this, so that's not supposed to be scary. On Saturday afternoon, July 28th, 1973, Mom, Tracy, age 4, and I, age 6, were at home across from Woodlands 2, packing up for the beach when we heard distressed female voices outside our front window. Okay, racing down the hill on bicycles going far too fast for a summer joyride were two middle aged women. They're crazy. They're going to kill themselves, Mom thought. Moments later, Dad came home and uncharacteristically frantic instructed Mom to lock the doors and keep our German Shepherd Spooky inside the house at our side.
Okay. There's a couple things that strike me on this section
Okay.
here. First of all, I've never seen your dad rattled. Right?
Okay. All right.
Right? Had you seen him rattled before or since?
Oh, hold on. Hold on. There's an obvious question here.
For our prank,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
clearly was not rattled then. He
Not
just
rattled. Okay. You wouldn't say
no,
rattled. Okay.
no.
By the way, oh, whether I entered this right, I'm going to do it right now because I don't want to forget. But ah, I'm, Tom, you kind of surprised me with this whole thing, so I don't know what to introduce when, but I don't want to forget to do this. But um, I was invited to speak at the Lake Pleasant Library this summer
Oh yeah.
and about the book. And there's a reason I spent a bit of time on this chapter because I had someone there that was going to add something to it that was far more
Okay.
interesting than I could talk about. But in the context of that, I, I feel like I should have told you this before. Um, I brought up that in the book there was a prank that you and I did that required my dad to get pulled off stage at a concert and
Yes.
the sheriff got a call because we staged a fake accident. Tom, I'm telling you, the whole room when I said that had a like a collective gasp, like, oh, like they were, oh my gosh, no way you
Yeah,
guys did that. I'm like, yeah, we did that.
we did. We
You
did
got to
that.
read the book to
Yeah.
read the rest of it. But
Oh my
um,
gosh.
anyway, yeah. So
The other thing that struck me here, two middle-aged women riding bikes. That you don't see that very often, I'll be
not
honest.
really, and
Mm.
whether they were middle aged or early aged,
Okay.
but
That was
yeah,
my question because
yeah.
you're 6 years old here. Every woman over 20 is middle-aged to you.
Well, this was from my mom's perspective. So,
Okay.
mom and dad said, yeah, they were maybe in their 30s, and I don't know, but they
Okay.
came to camp, and one of the things they wanted to do was to rent bikes, which they could do at Woodlands,
Okay.
and they chose to take the bikes and go around the lake. And when
Mm.
they got to the point up above our house where there's a dirt road, Gimlintown Road, um,
That's where they
they
saw him.
encountered, yeah,
Let's finish it up here.
all right. He just received a call from Camp's registrar's office that shortly after checking in for the week, two guests had rented bicycles and encountered a creepy gunman at the Gilmantown Road split, less than 200 yards from our house. They said that the man emerged from the woods, blocked their path, and told them to get off their bikes. The ladies sped away despite the risk of being shot in the back.
Yeah, and that obviously was a good choice.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have known it like they.
I mean, he had a gun, so and he was
Right.
creepy.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're telling everybody here there's more to come. Is that
There
true?
is more to come, Tom, and yeah, thank you for because the night before um in Girls Park, that same man, Robert Garrow, the
Mm.
serial killer, um approached a young lady, a 16-year-old, and he was waiting in Girls Park. And when Jane Taylor um, came back from the lake after she was kind of late, he was waiting there and tried to grab her and take her away.
Mm.
And her instincts, told her something's not right, and
Something's not right.
she wrestled herself away. Above and beyond that, the girls in her cabin when she came in started screaming for their counselor, and that counselor came running and saw him and saw the moment where he
Wow.
was fleeing, uh, and she looked him in the eye and she said, you can't be here. And he kind of took the loss and started walking away, but she didn't take that for granted. She followed him down Girls Park Hill to the right, past Woodlands, all the way through Woodlands parking lot until he was gone. And
Wow.
what she shared with me in an hour-long conversation, and what the staffer Jane shared with me, uh,
Is gonna have to wait for the book.
it is, but it is surreal in terms of, I guess, Tom, like for all that they shared at a base level, it was problematic that there was a man in Girls Park. Like
Yeah.
they were all told, everyone knew, the girls, the boys, the men, everyone knew
Yeah, it's
there
awful.
should not have been a man in Girls Park.
Yep.
But beyond that, both of them said to some level that when they looked at this man, they knew he was not just some
He
stranger being lost. He was a man
evil.
with intent and far beyond that. And they could, that was before they knew and found out like what who he was and what he had
Yeah.
done. There was
Yeah.
just something about him,
Mm.
and I use the words. I take their own words and I put it in the book. But it's chilling, like to know that someone can see someone and know that they're
Yeah.
not. I don't want to say of
Not
this
right.
world, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I have I have all the notes. I have between the two of them, hour and 15 hour. Yeah,
Yeah. They're
half hour of notes, and I've written them down. I have not composed it yet as of this writing, but I don't want to exaggerate it, but I don't think I have to. I'm just going to use their own words and
it's
share,
terrifying.
yeah, what happened
Yeah.
in the heart of Camp of the Woods in Girls Park. And I appreciate them both so much. And I would love to kind of incorporate them. I feel like I've have a special connection with each of them now, just from those conversations, and they're
Sure.
both willing to share more. And I hope I can do the chapter justice, but that's one of the things in the works for. So, whatever led you to, you said you opened up the book and saw something that we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you bring it up because that's one of the things. I don't want to say excited because it's, you know what I mean, but
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting part of the
it
book.
is,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I look forward to being able to share what they shared with me
Yeah.
to everyone else.
Let's uh let's talk to Andy Clancy.
Andy Clancy.
Let's bring him
All
in.
right.
Yeah. That'll be an exciting interesting part of your next book.
There
Hey,
he
Andy
hey,
Clancy.
how you guys doing?
good.
Awesome. How are
Andy,
you?
there
I
you
wore
go.
my special hat for you, Doc.
You're
Hey,
flying
I'm wearing
high.
an eagle too. Different eagle.
I,
Oh
well
Awesome.
man,
done.
Well, Andy, welcome. Let's get some basic questions out of the way. Where are we calling you from?
I'm in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, so
Oh, are you
about
now?
30
Okay.
minutes north of Gettysburg.
I know Mechanicsburg very well. I have my wife's aunt and uncle live in Mechanicsburg.
Oh, okay.
We lived in Harrisburg, Hershey area for 20 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
The,
yeah, we get over to Hershey.
the other side of the river.
Yes,
Yeah.
the West Shore.
Yeah, you're on the West
River in
Shore.
Hershey that
Yeah.
divides it. Like you want to know what side of
Well,
the tracks you're on or the river?
It's kind of what it boils down to. You have the East Shore, which is Harrisburg, and
yeah, let's just be honest, Andy. The West Shore is much nicer than the East Shore. And you live on the West Shore,
I
so
live on the West Shore, so I'm not going to go and say that, but
I'll say it for you. There you go. Okay.
Nice.
Well, Don's in Buffalo. I'm in Virginia. So we've moved around a little bit since Harrisburg, but
okay.
and other questions that we wanted to figure out if our times intersected at camp. What can you tell me what years you were at Camp of the Woods?
So I went up in 1980
Okay.
and worked in the dish room for not the whole summer.
Okay.
I had just turned 15, and so I went up for like the end of July and through Labor Day. And then my last summer up there was 84.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I think we missed each other.
Yeah, I went 86, 7, and 8. So
Okay.
so yeah, we missed each other. All right, but did you work dish crew the whole time?
No, no.
All right.
So that was 80, 81 through 84. I was on rec staff.
Okay.
And then
So I
the
was gonna say,
last 84, um, I worked, actually, I wasn't up there the whole summer again. You know, under the guise of having to make money for college. Worked at home for the summer and then kind of said, you know what, I'm sick of this. So I went back up for like the last 5 or 6 weeks of the summer and worked actually with Don Hammond Sr.
Yeah.
Doing electrical stuff in the mornings and then filling in for the teen program because that was all part of rec staff at the time, and then working just regular old rec staff.
How
So,
did you get like
and
right
I,
in
Wait,
working?
let me get through this because I want to get this off the screen so we can see better. But have you seen this podcast before?
yes, yes, I've
Okay.
listened to more than I've watched, but
Okay.
yeah,
That yeah, we're hard to look at. I get it. So this you're familiar with on the spot then where we ask the questions, right?
yes,
I'm just gonna put them up here for a minute. If you want to just take a look, then I'm gonna bring them down so that they're not in the way for seeing everybody. But again, it's all about Mrs. Purdy.
of course.
I'll prompt you for some of the questions, but we've already started getting into some of these, so I just want to put it up here. Um, and then we can I'll look. I have another monitor. I'll take a look and see. Get back to the questions. But yeah, um, our first question is how Camp of the Woods. How do you get there? What,
So
what's the
I
connection?
sent some pictures up to you.
I have
My
those. Yep.
great grandparents were up there, and my grandparents passed away
Great.
years ago,
Your
so I don't.
great grandparents.
Yeah, so
Wow.
my
Okay.
grandma and grandfather got engaged in a canoe on the lake in 1929.
That is
Um,
amazing. Wow.
so my
The whole world
grandmother
crashed.
and I think her
Yeah.
sister went up there. And then my grandfather and his family went up there, and I think they knew each other. I think from New York, from Queen. They lived in Queens,
Okay.
and so yeah, they got engaged on the lake. And I think so. You know, some of the pictures. I sent Don one, and I think I put it in the ones I sent you. It's Pop
Yeah.
Tibbet standing on the beach in 1930.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so yeah, so it's been like it's part of my DNA. Um,
Yeah.
my mom was born in 36 and was up there in 37. Um, and other
Amazing.
than like World War II, they
Well,
were
Yeah.
they were up there every
well,
summer.
before that, so your grandparents were in a canoe in 1929. Did they have any
Their
sense
parents.
that anything else was going on? Like maybe a
I don't know.
market or
Yeah.
it's nice that they missed that.
Yeah, but no, it was so it's kind of like baked into my DNA. I went
Yeah.
up when I was a year old. Um, and then, how did I get on staff? Well, it's kind of like you've been going up there your whole life. My mother was on staff in the early 50s.
Wow.
My two brothers were on staff. I went up, and then my two sons were on staff.
So your brothers
Keith and Eric.
Keith and Eric. Yep.
So Keith is 2 years older than me, and Eric is 2 years older than him.
Yep.
Keith was the lifeguard up there
Yep.
for
Oh wow.
3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And then Eric was a busboy up on the hill with
Yeah.
Pete Skiba and Jeff Fisher.
Nice. Yeah. Good names. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So do you have memories as a guest from being a kid then?
Oh yeah. I mean, that was like, that was the vacation we just looked forward to forever. Um,
So it was every year you go up for a week?
every year we go up for a week. We stayed in Seneca 1 and 2. It was kind of a double room on
Okay.
the point side of Seneca, and my grandparents stayed in Seneca 12 or 13, whatever the last one was on the other end of the building. And they would go up for 2 weeks, and we would go up for 1 week. And like that was like the greatest place to go in the summer.
Oh
Were
yeah.
you not coming from like Long
Well,
Island?
yeah, we were from
Okay.
Long Island.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was, friends from church would come up with us. My cousin and her family would come up.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
so yeah,
amazing.
it's kind of we're kind of baked into our DNA with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was always family, and then you you were a staff member for a couple years. You already gave us your jobs.
So Andy, when I had a call the other night, Tom, I'm gonna kind of look for your approval here and maybe a little clap back the fact that the other night I had a call for the book using this uh, platform, and I didn't need to call you for once.
It,
I think
I think we solved your problem though.
I think
You gotta
so.
you gotta
Yeah,
stop using Safari. Don't
yeah. So it was with the trailer park people, like
Yeah.
7 or 8 of them, thanks to Jim Olson,
Okay.
and yeah. But I asked them, because they were in their own sort of little camp world up there. It was their own trailer park, part of camp, but that's kind of the whole point of the conversation, was trying to figure out like what the relationship was with camp and into camp. But uh, it was funny because, yeah, I asked them, for all the teenagers that grew up in the trailer park, was there an expectation that they would ultimately be on staff? I mean, it would have been easy for them to not be, like, just
Right.
living the life
Yeah.
and waking up whenever and spending the day there. And but most of them did. Most of them ended up working on staff, and whether to what extent that felt like an obligation or
Yeah.
just to make money. Maybe their friends were making money back in their hometowns, but so, you were going up there as a guest, Andy, and was there an expectation, given Keith and Eric, that, they were on staff, that you were going to do the same, or?
I don't know that it was an expectation on my part because
Okay.
I wanted to work like that was like,
Yeah, you
kind
can
of
go on
the
vacation for one.
pinnacle.
You could go on vacation for 1 week, or you could work there all summer.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I would opt to be there all summer.
Now, fortunately, I married my wife Michelle, and we went up there. I think the first summer we got married in April. I don't know if we went up that summer, but the following summer, and she's like all in as well, which is great
He
because
was
then
not a camp person.
yes, right. So she kind of came in from the outside,
Okay.
and our kids are, it's kind of the same thing. They're, it's baked into their DNA now.
Yeah, I want
Mhm.
to I want to hear more about that too, because it's not always the
Yeah.
case. Like Jackie Lutz Engelhardt was
Yeah.
telling us that, it was for her, baked in. It was in her
Yeah,
blood, and um, but the rest of her
Well,
family,
they're
she
not.
had to kind of sell it to them. And my wife Amy, I met her at Houghton. She knew nothing about Camp in the Woods, and she worked there for a staff or a summer in '88. We got married in '89, and went there, back and forth from Buffalo
yeah,
to camp. And but it's not an assumption. You have to kind of really spend some time there to understand what it's all about, to be
yeah,
ingrained, right?
yeah, yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
You
it's
said you had, did you say you have two sons that worked there?
I do. So I have two boys. Drew's the older one. He's 24, got married last year,
Nice.
graduated from Messiah, electrical engineering major.
My
He
daughter
married a girl
graduated.
who was an electrical engineering major from Messiah as well.
So my youngest daughter graduated from Messiah as,
You said your youngest?
yeah, my youngest daughter. So
What year?
I was just trying to think that. I think 21.
Okay, because yeah, Drew I think graduated in 23.
Okay.
Got married in 24. But so he went up when he was 15. So
Okay.
he turned 16 while he was up there. And being overprotective parents, we had taken a week and gone on vacation. We went up to Acadia and we drove down and we're dropping them off. And um, I'll blame it on my wife. a little bit nervous because he's only 15 and what he doesn't know any like what's he going to do? He's going to do his laundry, all that stuff. So he got on rec staff, and so we were dropping him off. And Tim Treesice was the summer rec director, along with being lift in the fall and winter. And so, we're talking to him. I was like, hey, 40 years ago, I was on rec staff.
That sounds crazy.
Things have changed probably a little bit, but so I said, yeah, I work with Jim Rumsey, and he's like, oh, Jim's still here. As a matter of fact, he's on the tennis courts putting up tennis, like nets. So it was like, the stress level just kind of melted away. It's like, like, oh, Jim and Carol are up here. Everything is going to be fine.
Yeah.
So we left them up there on, I don't know, a Saturday, I guess, and camp, I guess that first, they call it challenge week now before the guests come up. So Jim is like, okay, Drew, you and one of the other guys, we're going to go look at some other hikes because, there's a hike we hadn't done before. So Drew's all in on that. And they get there, they run up the mountain and they run back. And he's like, he calls us the next day. He's like, it was great because we got back and there was no food left in the dining hall. So, we had mashed potatoes and cold cereal. He's like, it was great. And Michelle is like, they didn't have enough food for you? What's going He was like, that was like the highlight of his weekend. And we're like,
That is amazing.
That's funny.
Yeah, you're not the first person we've talked to that their kids, they were on staff and then their kids have been on staff too. I think
I
there's
love this, Tom. Yeah, there's this
Yeah.
legacy thing. It's
Yeah.
Don
Yeah.
Miller, and yeah, there's others that not coming to mind, but
Yeah.
it's cool to see like the parents that I would want their children to
Yeah.
be following in that. So
Yeah. And then my younger son, a couple of years later, was on rec staff. He was up there for 2 years. So yeah, he was up 21 and 22, I think.
yeah,
Or
did he have to
21.
drive vans to take people to hikes?
No, and that's that's kind of like I heard some of the other comments like camp trusted you,
Yeah,
or let's put it this way, Don, your dad and your grandfather trusted us like as far as they could, like they knew kind of like, hey, this guy, we're never going to let him get behind the wheel of something, but and so I,
Yep.
I remember driving the van. I was 18.
yeah,
And that big white whale Dodge van.
Yep.
right.
I'm loading up like families in the back of this to take them on a hike. And I'm looking at that now and I'm saying, I'd never get in the van with somebody like me driving. or, or like, with the
Amazing.
teens, driving them like Friday night, it was a 15 passenger van. We probably had 18 people in it. But driving them down to Amsterdam on a rainy Friday night to go roller skating, like I wouldn't put my kids in that van with an 18-year-old.
Well, they're out of your jurisdiction now. Like Tom, did you have the same thoughts? Like when you were trusted to, Tom, you were trusted to drive boats, but also a van. Like, what did it ever occur to you that this is a big responsibility?
They seemed okay with it, so I was okay with it. Yeah. Looking back, I mean, yes, with a 19-year-old mind, you don't think about that. With a 57-year-old mind, I'm thinking, no, what? No.
When my kids were in the teen program, they would go like Thursday afternoon, they'd go someplace to play paintball. And so Michelle was like, well, how are they going to get there? I said, well, they'll get in the camp van and go. I said, I used to drive all the time. She's like, I don't want him getting in the van with some 19-year-old. So I think now, like, the like insurance probably says, hey, you got to be 21, because he wasn't actually able to drive any of the camp vehicles.
Yeah, that
So they
makes
would,
sense.
they'd go on canoe trips, and there was always a senior rec staff person that would drive and tow the trailer. Now he was the one who got to
Yeah.
schlump the canoes off the trailer,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But
No offense to Nate Forrester, but attorneys ruin everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, New York State too is
yeah,
heavy-handed government-wise,
yeah.
and they've caught up and surpassed their level of being
Yeah.
Amazing.
impressive. Yeah.
So, Tom, before I forget, you mentioned Jackie Lutz and
Yes.
Jackie Lutz Engelhardt. So she went to Messiah. I went to Messiah.
Yeah.
Funny thing, I listened to your YouTube videos
Oh.
while I'm driving, and
Oh, yeah.
so I saved, I don't know, $10 on buying something on Facebook Marketplace, but it was more than that, but probably not enough to warrant a 3-hour drive from my office to pick it up and then 2.5 hours home. But I'm driving down to Stanley, Virginia. And I know that's near you
I don't know where
because
Stanley is.
as I'm driving down there, I'm listening to you guys interviewing and talking with Jackie. And you mentioned about taking your grandson to Dinosaur Land.
Dinosaur Land. Yes.
And so I'm driving. I have no idea where I am, but the screen says turn left, go 3 miles, turn right. So I'm at an intersection
You
as
have the
I'm listening
Dinosaur
to
Land
this
sign?
interview, and I look up and I'm like, that's Dinosaur Land.
You were 100 yards from our development. That's
I,
is that
I
not
was like,
the
how does that
coolest?
happen?
I don't know how that happens, but Dinosaur Land though, that's pretty cool looking, isn't it?
It is.
I
Yeah.
mean,
It was like,
yeah,
this is crazy to
that's
me.
What are the odds? That's
that is
wild.
nuts. Yeah, it would be like a roadside stop on Route 66.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's so kitschy, but 4-year-olds absolutely love it, I can tell you.
I bet they
But
do.
as you're hearing Tom talk about it,
That's
It was,
bizarre.
there
it
it is.
was,
It's right there.
I couldn't wrap my head
Uh,
around that.
Yeah. Wow.
But no, the funny thing, like the driving thing, we had that big white van, right?
Yeah.
And it was, when you're 19 or 18, the last you don't want to be driving around in a 15 passenger van. So in the parking lot was always parked this like awesome red Bronco next to it. And every time I would go somewhere that I didn't need 15 passengers worth of seats. Like Werner Strube was in the business office. That's where they kept the keys. And I'm like, hey, Mr. Strube, can you get me the keys to the Bronco? And so I would take the Bronco, and I for whatever it was I was doing. And Don, your dad, every time I'd get back, not well, he many times when he's like, don't take the Bronco, take the van. He's like, because they need the Bronco to go do the mail run. And I'm like, what?
I don't know. He wanted to
The
drive the
van.
Bronco.
Yeah, right.
He
As
was trying to.
aggravated, like I would have smacked me in the head if I did that. And as aggravated as your dad must have been, he was always like, take the van.
Tom and I were just talking about that before.
So good.
Let's see, like, yeah, he never shows his level of.
Oh my word. I would have been so, if that was, I mean, I just look back, I'm like, I would have been out of my mind. Because like how many times do I have to tell this kid, don't take the Bronco?
You were trying to save gas, man, right?
That's right. Yeah, I didn't need the big van. The smaller, more economical.
That's amazing. All right. Let me get, I got distracted looking up Stanley. It looks like you would have driven, if you're coming from the north, you would have driven right by us to get to Stanley. I didn't,
Yeah,
what was in Stanley you were driving to?
I had to get a
Oh,
ladder rack for the back of my truck,
I got
and
it.
it was some guy down there was selling one on Facebook Marketplace for,
Okay.
it was a deal.
All right. If you see Dinosaur Land again, give me a call.
I'll honk the horn a few times.
Have you read Don's book?
Oh, I did. Yes.
Yeah, so you're reading Don's book. Did you have memories come back?
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
everything. I mean, even like
Anything come to mind?
pre-working up there, it just it all kind of, it was just it brought back a flood of memories.
Yeah, anything that stood out that you were like, I can't believe I forgot about this, but this reminded me of it.
Well,
Not necessarily, but there was a couple of people that, submitted stuff and
Yeah.
talked about,
Some,
having
some
struggles at
people over
home.
submitted.
What's that?
Some people over submitted. That
No, but there's, people like, talk about struggles at home and they got to come to Camp of the Woods
yeah,
and it was like this respite from, either getting bullied or things like that. And
Earl.
yeah,
Earl, yeah.
and Jeff Johnson, I think,
Yeah.
had just it was the ability to come up there and kind of get away from whatever issues there were. And it was funny, Don, because I was talking to your dad, I guess it was 2 summers ago, and I said, that really struck me. Um, what a great opportunity that was. And there's probably dozens of stories like that. But he's like,
Hundreds.
he said something like, did you know Jeff well? And I was like, well, he was on music staff and I wasn't.
Oh yeah, they
It's
were. Yeah, they had their own world going on there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But so things like that really,
Yeah,
Well,
that's a common theme that we've heard done where camp is obviously a ministry to guests,
yeah,
but especially when Bob Purdy was personnel director, he introduced camp as a ministry to the staff,
yeah.
mhm.
which it clearly was to many of us. That we've heard that many times. Sorry, Don, you were saying.
No, no, that's a great point that Andy made about Jeff. But you talk about the book where there's a story that Andy is in the book, and it's very, very relevant. I need your take on this, but the very relevant point is that it was before cell phones. So it was in the winter, and I knew Andy well from the past couple summers. But New Year's Eve or New Year's Christmas to New Year's, there was that week or whatever it was, a week and a half, and there were a lot of staffers that would come back, and there was one time where Andy came back, and we all got together, and it was special to see everyone, come back, and we would spend time with Woodlands, maybe go to the gym, maybe play football and on the ice. Well,
I can read it if you like.
what? Oh,
I
did you find it?
Yeah.
Yeah, do
yeah.
that. Do that
Well,
because
here
Well,
we go.
we'll have Andy like
and
share
I
his
need to
memory of that.
protest. I need to protest a little bit because the only place in that book where my name got mentioned was when we did something really stupid.
Well,
It was.
okay.
Yeah.
You weren't alone.
That's true.
So here's what Don wrote. One year, Andy Clancy and a few of us made an impromptu late night walk to Tapawingo across the hopefully frozen lake, just because we could. The only problem was that we forgot to tell my parents, and they were worried sick for hours. Remember, no cell phones.
Okay, so like it wouldn't have been a problem if we were somewhere in Woodlands, somewhere at the gym. That's about as far as you can really go that time of year. But I don't know. We decided, hey, let's just walk to the island, and
Yeah,
so
you could.
we got back. My parents were furious at me,
Oh.
like, where? So
And you're like, Mom, buy me a cell phone.
this was
Yeah,
1983.
yeah, I think it was 83. Yeah.
Amazing.
So
And
what?
again, as like frustrated as your mom and dad were, I didn't realize. Like, I don't know if you got chewed out when we got back, but
I
I had
did.
like no idea that there was that level of frustration or worry or whatever.
Yeah, it must have been that it must have been like if I were doing any of those things at the time, and they knew that there were a lot of camp staff friends coming back, um, I would be home by 11-ish, but apparently I'm guessing it must had to have been later than that because they wouldn't have been looking for me if it were earlier than that. And there must have been people who are like, I don't know where he is. I don't know where they are.
Well, five
And
years
I, yeah,
earlier, there was a serial killer on the property. So,
Well, he'd been take. Wow, that was only 5 years removed from when he was
yeah.
killed, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but
So
it
I
was
was
cool to
actually
go
up
out there,
there.
right?
I was up there that summer, that week,
Oh,
Oh, wow.
as a camp as a kid. Um, and didn't really know quite what was going on, but there was, like the
Mm.
sheriff's deputies were kind of standing in chapel, scanning the crowd in the mornings, and there was a sheriff's car
Hey,
or truck or whatever going in and out of camp all the time.
Andy, here's your opportunity to get quoted in the next book, not doing something stupid. Don's going to want to interview you about that because
Yeah, and I
he-
mean, I was kind of young enough, and my parents obviously weren't like, "Hey, there's a killer on the loose," lock the doors. But it was memorable. Um,
yeah.
well,
Wow.
when you watch this episode, you'll see that before you joined, I had Don read part of the book about that.
okay,
So
Some stuff
very
that's coming
interesting.
up, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I thought nothing of it. Like I thought, I don't know, my parents would have assumed that I would be out and about with these, camp summer friends that were coming back, and would just I don't even know if I had a watch. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it was dark. It was always dark. I
yeah,
just didn't have any concept of time really. The
and
moon
I
might have been crazy bright, and it was easy to walk out there, and so
and I think there was a picture, and I was looking for it and I couldn't find it, but it was
uh,
like me and you, and I think Scott and Tracy and Jay Briggs and
uh,
might have been Tom Weisberg or something. I think we
oh
had
yeah,
worked in Woodlands because it was, I think it was pretty close, if not, it was within a day or so of New Year's Eve because I
yeah,
think there were some guests up there.
okay,
And so we were kind of, bussing tables and doing dishes and things like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And after we got done with that, we're like, hey, what are we going to do? Oh, let's go walk to
Right.
the island.
Wander around
It's a
and like
great idea.
actually, Kathy Weisberg Sweeney might have been part of that. And Tom, you had a cool exchange with her. The
Yes,
three
we
of us
did.
have a group text message, and you finally found a Bucky's, right?
I've now experienced Bucky's.
Well, there's one on 81.
Ah,
Yeah, that's the one I went to.
Okay, because
Yeah.
that's now our stop when we go to my younger son's at Liberty now. So we
Oh, so
stop
you're
at
driving to
Bucky's.
81 to get down there. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, Kathy went on and on about it, and Don had been to them in Florida, and
it- yeah,
it's something else.
They're pretty insane, aren't they?
I don't understand where all those people came from. It's
No.
packed. I guess
And,
I'd call it a Walmart-sized convenience store.
nice.
with 120 gas pumps, and you have to wait in line to get to them.
It
Wow.
it's the most gas pumps I've ever seen. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But it's like a destination.
it is.
How did it's genius. How did they do that? Hey, let's build a store that people are going to come from all around just to be here.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, on the way down to where we went this weekend, we saw it and we're like, "Oh, let's stop on the way back." Totally forgot about stopping there on the way back, and I got gas maybe the next exit south. And there's a kid there pumping gas wearing Bucky's pants. Little Bucky's all over him, like, oh, Bucky's, we got to go to Bucky's. I totally, otherwise, I would have totally driven by it again.
Oh my word.
So, yeah, you can buy anything you can think of with Bucky's logo on it in
Yeah,
that store. They're very happy with themselves and will make anything you want with their logo.
yeah, yeah. And you go in and you spend twice as much as you ever thought you'd spend at a convenience store. I
Convenience
mean,
store. They had really good brisket sandwiches we
They
got
do.
there.
Yeah, you said the brisket.
Really
Yeah,
good.
she was excited for you to give a review of that.
Yes, no, they definitely have some good brisket sandwiches.
Ah, I still have not. I'll get there. When I do, I'll put it out there to you by
Yeah.
text or
After you pass Dinosaur Land, go over to 81 and go south. So let's ask a couple more questions for Mrs. Purdy. So what do you keep in touch with people from camp?
Not really too many.
Yeah, it's
We
hard.
do so they were a couple of years behind me. They were actually they laugh and my kids Karen Hartman
Hmm.
Guard and Kathy Reiniak Johnson.
Oh,
So Kathy
okay.
goes to our church.
Oh,
Oh,
And
really?
so we go up and we always end up kind of sitting on the beach with them and so they always laugh that like hey Drew and Aiden, your dad was our team leader one year. And I'm like, what? And I had to apologize. I was like, nobody turned out like crazy, did they? Because looking back at that, like I shouldn't have been driving a van full of people. I probably don't know that leading the team group for a couple of weeks was like I guess
Yep.
somebody thought it was a good decision, but
it was the
So,
freedom, as Nate said, right?
yeah, yeah. So I keep in touch with them and their families, and they have kids that are kind of my boys' ages. So when we're up there, they'll all go running off hiking somewhere, hiking high peaks and things like that. But
nice. So, but are there any, either reading Don's book, listening to these recordings, anybody that you've thought of you wish you could reconnect with?
I mean, I'd love to reconnect with so many people in that book. I mean, there are a couple of people I run into like up at camp when we're up there.
Oh,
So,
nice. Yeah.
Ed Shute,
Ed.
he was up there the same week. We were
Yeah.
up there a couple of years ago. Jeff Fisher is he's up there.
Is he?
I
Yeah.
think his dad still has a place up there.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of catch up a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Um, but there's you know Jim Olson. I see every summer when I go up there, and I didn't know him real well, but it's always fun catching up with him and Beth. It was summer of 24. I think Don, I had reached out to you, but we were gonna. My mom is getting up in age, and we were like, well, maybe we'll see if she wants to go up like during the last week of the season, and it'll be quiet, and we can, it might be the last time she's able to get up there. So she was all gung ho. So I called up there. I was like, I got a couple of rooms in Woodlands,
Yeah.
and she was going to come up with us for like Saturday till Monday or something. And
Yeah.
so like Friday, a couple of weeks earlier, a couple of weeks prior, I called up, I got rooms, and then like Tuesday, she's like, I don't know if I can make it. So
Oh,
Mm.
it was so close. It was like, hey, I couldn't cancel it. So I was like, well, I'm going up anyway.
right.
And so I had this extra room. And so I fortunately Beth was able to use it.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. I remember you sent me the text and I kind of put it out there to a few folks that I knew, including her. And I'm glad that worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we had it was kind of good catching up, and she's kind of got like the encyclopedia of everything that's happening with everybody at camp. It's really
Right.
kind of amazing, and pictures, and just she seems like she's pretty well connected with a whole
Well,
lot.
yeah. And she's kind of the person that helped me do a lot of catch up in a short period of time to with folks that I probably should have been keeping in contact with, but I hadn't, and so she helped me a lot with that. But Tom, I know a lot of things that Andy's talking about here. We have some actual video evidence and picture evidence of, and
We
but
do.
yeah, but I was gonna kind of ask Andy like when before you were on staff, So your brothers, Eric and Keith, were on, before you. Was there anything that, you heard from them or about them being on staff that you were envious of and you were like, oh, I can't wait to kind of be able to do that they're doing, or you know what I mean?
I think part of it, like just hearing them talk about like their friend group up there.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
they got there was kind of a, like, I know my brother Eric, he was good friends with Jeff Fisher and Pete Skiba, and there was a handful of others that kind of were in this core group. um, to me it was just like, wow, that's pretty. And then we'd come up for a week, and it was kind of like, he would okay, well, my little brother can hang out with us for a while. But it
Right,
was,
right, right.
he
Yeah,
would
get a
he would
taste.
humor me on that. But yeah, it was just that whole, just the freedom and the, you know, f- and really just being on your own for the first time was
Yeah,
kind of an exciting thing. In a
yeah,
place that was, it was Camp of the Woods, right?
yeah.
It
Did you
was.
did you ever stay in Boys Park?
I did.
Okay.
So the first 2 years, so 80 and 81, I was in Boys Park.
Did you throw rocks?
Well, Don and I were talking about this a little bit in the summer, and he was like, "I don't understand that." And I
No.
think it started, and apparently it was going on before I got up there when I was 15, because
Okay.